jungle. There we go. So the head's already been switched. Maybe the car runs? Welcome to today's video, everybody. I'm excited because we are once again working on the abandoned S15. Quick question though, and I want you to answer this down in the comment section. Do you want to see me continue with the abandoned S15 intro? Me personally, I think we should only start bringing it back when we're doing special like things with the car, like maybe when the paint work's done or the engine's running and stuff. Just because like I really do like that it shows where the car came from and where it's at now, but I'm curious to know your opinions. Is it time to lose the intro? But that aside, we're pulling down the whole front end of this car today. I want to see if there's any hidden rust under these fenders or anywhere that I couldn't see, and the only way to do that is to pull everything apart. So we're going to do that, but before we do, let me show you the new merch drop that's coming this Friday at 4 p.m. EST. Anyone with a keen eye knows that this car is covered in dress-up bolts everywhere. And to be honest, it's pleasing to the eye. I like it. But I always thought to myself, Sam, why have you never put in the effort of using dress-up bolts? And I realized when I got this car, they're all Allen key and it's a huge pain in the butt. But we can also use this, which, I mean, hopefully they don't strip, otherwise we're in trouble. But I don't know if it's worth the effort, honestly. Wait, what brand are these? Are they actually like genuine something? This says Hozo Racing. I have no idea what that is. And there's a little ninja star on there though. Anyways, like I said, fenders coming off. Pulling these ones. Oh, yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Oh no. Oh yeah, no, it's done. And we'll do this side. Yay, I'm just gonna undo all of these as much as I can. What? Oh, that hole's rusted out. Yeah, we're finding more rust. Today's gonna be a rusty day. Oh, baby, I don't like that. What about this one? We're gonna get this one out, or is it gonna? No. We're gonna use an Allen key for that. Oh, you can just hear stuff flaking off. This does not sound good. I'm quite confident I've already developed a hate for these dress-up bolts. They do look cool, I'll say that, but the extra time it takes instead of just having 10 mils everywhere that you can just go zzz, zzz, zzz. We got it. Oof. To be completely honest, I was expecting the bolt down the bottom there on the seal to be really hard, but luckily we were still able to get the socket over it with a little tap of the hammer and some parts cleaner to clean all the dirt around it, and it came right out. This should just lift out now. Ejector light off. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. Okay. Not bad. Oh, what's this thing? What do you call this in Japan? We used to call these like hairy caterpillars in Australia. He's dead though. Well and truly dead. With the rest of the aero parts. Yeah. We'll pull this headlight out. But I'm seeing good bones. I'm seeing really good bones. Now, the front end is definitely going to need work from the body shop, not me. There's bubbling here, so this needs to get addressed. You can just see that. Look at this. See? I don't mind showing you. Look, that just fell straight through. There's rust here, right? That can't be saved. There has to be a new piece welded in here for sure. All right. This is a very common rust spot here, this like connector piece. So the body guy will be able to remake this for me. We could replace this whole panel though. I do have a lead on another S15 where the whole rear end was completely destroyed in an accident. So I could get a whole new front end and put it on here if I want to go down that route. The frames are perfect. There's no rust in any of these frames here, and the whole rest of the car, there's no rust in the frames. So if I want to make this car nice, I would have to swap this whole panel here. So like this top piece and this and new tubs and like this whole piece. The radiator support would get taken off this and probably reused, or we just take the whole front end off the other S15 because it has a good radiator support and both good sides. We could do that, which I feel like would be the move if I wanted to make this a really clean car. So everything from the firewall forward would get chopped off and a new piece, the whole new piece would be put on. But if it's savable and not that bad, then there's no reason to have to do that. So the main rust that I see is just where they cut and bashed along the edges here for fitting the over fenders. I was worried that there was going to be rust in this. There isn't, which is good, really good. There is some rust in here, in the usual spot for the 15s, but that's also repairable. It's a very common rust spot. So I'm pretty excited. This is a good sign. There's a bit coming through here, but we do have two options still at this point on this side. We need to take the other side off now and get a good look at it, but this is exciting. I was expecting like a hole here or something, or holes in this. This looks really, really good. I'm hyped, and like it's still mind blowing to me that this has survived as much as it has where it's at. So we'll move on to the other side now. I'm really worried about this side now. I went to take the bolts out and kind of budged the fender. The bolts are still screwed into the seal. The fender just broke away around it. Look at this. I've never had that happen before. Jeez, I'm nervous, man. Yo, pretty much the same thing as the other side. This definitely copped it a lot. I need to look under there real quick. Okay, it looks like this is the remnants of the fender here. Wow, it is. Look at that. The fender just breaking off. I'm trying not to like touch it too much with my fingers because I don't want to get tetanus. I am up to date with my shots, but I'd rather not risk it. So yeah, that's mainly the fender that just rusted and kind of sat there. The seal seems to be relatively okay. It's definitely like getting a little how you doing, but come on, get on there. Oh, I think we got it. Yo, it came out. That's a miracle. That there is a miracle. Dude, this car just keeps giving. Look at that. Good fender hole. I swear to God, this car is just like low-key telling me every day that I work on it, save me. Cause like, I don't know. I just feel it. Do you feel it? Oh, you're joking. No way. That's ridiculous. Look at that. Beautiful. All right. Jeez. I can't believe we have good holes there. So we can see some rust dripping down here, staining. That's from the rust inside there. Everything else on this side looks pretty decent, other than everything under the silicone here from where they tried to like cut and bend up and seal over because they wanted to fit big wheels and go super low. So this is just yeah, that'll all get trimmed higher up, welded back together, just like over fenders would in the rear end. We're gonna cut this out and weld it back in. But that's if I stick with this front end. Like I said, we do have the option of changing everything firewall forward. And if that's the case, then it's kind of maybe worth it. I don't know. To be honest, I think it's still in the stage of savable and we don't really need to worry about it yet. But I am gonna probably pick up that 15 still just as a parts car because it just makes a lot of sense. And my main concern is like these rails here and making sure there's no rust up in here. And there's a tiny bit there, but nothing that's not fixable. It's hard to see, but this is a little kind of yikes up in here. This here, a little scary. Which is just because of how they cut it and bent it over, because then all the dirt and the moisture gets trapped in where the bend is. They should have just cut it out and sealed it. But yeah, I've seen worse. The other side, the top frame looks really solid. You know, we've got a little bit of rust here, same as on the other side. Oh, actually, that might be worse. It's all the way through, I think. My finger's like moving it. Yikes. Yeah. We'll see what my body guy says about this front end. I think we're gonna probably end up switching it. Just I think like that'd be a better move. But if he's confident that he can cut those pieces out and weld in new pieces and seal it all up, then we'll just go with that because it's obviously a lot of work to take off both of these two sides. Yeah, we'll have to decide on that later, but it doesn't look great in my opinion under this rail up in here on both sides. And that's where the front end is gonna flex the most, with the strut obviously being in here. And already we know that this strut has been weakened because of these tubs here. These tubs where they were welded is already like super corroded and rusted out. And you can see some of it coming through the paint around where it's been welded. So that's why I'm just kind of like, maybe we should just chop, replace. But I'm curious to know what you guys think we should do there. I don't think it's not repairable. And I think, you know, I just need to talk to the body guy and see what he says, because if he's like, look, honestly, at this point, it's going to cost more to repair this than just switch the front end, then it's easier to just switch the front end, right? And it saves us money. So we'll see. We'll keep this on pause for now. We're still going to clean everything up and strip this whole front end even more in the next few days and get everything out of here so we can get even better look at it. But from what I'm seeing now, I think it's going to be easier that we just switch this whole front end. We've got the car up in the air now, and as you can see, there's a lot of rust going on here. And for the 6th time this week, we're going over everything with a WD-40, every nut and bolt, so that when we do pull all of this apart, I'd like to do it later tonight or tomorrow. It's gonna be a lot easier if we didn't going in dry with this. But it's far from ideal. I'm getting rid of this subframe. There's places that just sketch me out where the rust is definitely eaten through joints and welds and stuff, and it's just not worth it, especially when we can get a whole new, like secondhand, decent condition one that we can reinforce ourselves and be good to go. But I'm just gonna go over everything, every nut and bolt, get that WD-40 in there, make a mess on the floor as usual. But this is gonna make our life 1,000 times easier when we go to undo all of this, because yeah, I want this out of here. It blows my mind actually how rusted up the subframe is, but the body under it is great. But that's also because the fuel tank's there protecting it, and all these like shields and guards here. One interesting thing that I found here, actually, look at this real quick. So you can see the handbrake cable here got touched and kind of eaten through a little bit by the tail shaft. But if you notice, they've zip tied this to the inside when this is literally the clip, like for this to just go up and in here. Same here. I don't know if they just didn't know how that worked or what. Like that's supposed to go in here and the clip's there, the spring's there, and it just into place. If you've ever worked on an air chassis, you know this. So it's like the person just didn't know that that's meant to be pushed up into here and just zip tied it there, and then it meant it was hanging too low and the table shaft nicked it. So finished with all the WD-40. I pretty much sprayed it on every bolt and nut that I saw. I didn't care if it was the bolt head or not. I was just spraying it there, hoping some of that penetrating oil will get in there and help and make our lives easier when we pull it out. That aside though, I definitely want to replace these like kind of shield protectors that are on the fuel tank, as well as that like kind of protect the body from the exhaust, like this one. And then this one up the back here is really bad. They seem to have like rusted the most, being like closest to the grass and the moisture where this thing was, as well as like the brake shields, which is kind of weird. But I am also thinking like, if this is like, if we pull the subframe out and we find something bad under there, like the chassis frame or whatever, I'm gonna just replace the subframe. I'm gonna slap everything together, put like coilovers in it and build a motor, drop it in and just turn this into an absolute insane missile. Like we're gonna smash Mayhan, like just go crazy with it. Because if I find any other like big rust spots that just make it not worthwhile to like go all out and make a nice street car, I'll just make a missile street car. Something that we can just take to the track like Mayhan, Ebisu and stuff and really get some insane practice with this. But if it is clean under there, like it looks like with everything here that we see now, and it's just the front end that needs that extra care, I'm okay with that. And it's worth like, you know, going the extra mile, not turning it into a straight missile. But we'll see as we start to pull more and more out. But now I want to go shopping for a new subframe. I heard there's one on the top floor at Up Garage right around the corner. So we're going to head there now. Hopefully it's a non-ABS S15 or Stagia or Skyline one. Non-HICUS is what I meant. Because I don't want to have to deal with the whole HICUS. If it has the toe arm points, we'll take it because Nissan pretty much use the same subframe across the board for there. So if we get a non-HICUS one, we're mint. If it's not rusty like this, we're good to go. So let's go in the K-van and get ourselves a new subframe. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And maybe some more parts, who knows? It's Up Garage, so. It is such a blessing that we're 2 minutes down the road from this. We've got to go all the way up to the 3rd floor, but don't worry, we're coming back down. We'll look at some parts in a little bit. But I really want to know if they have this subframe, because if they have this subframe, then that saves me a ton of time and effort. Hopefully it's a fair price though. Ooh. Does it? Is it non-HICUS or HICUS? It came out of a Stagia. Don't love that. Oh, it's a HICUS one. Damn it. That really sucks. Yeah, all right, well, I'm gonna probably just order a brand new one from Nissan. You can get them for about $400. So we'll do that. Dang. You know what? No, not a bummer, because look, they wanted like $550 for this. Definitely glad that's not actually the one I needed. To be honest though, they're charging GTR tax on that because it came out of a 260 RS, but that is literally the same subframe in so many different Nissans. It's just the HICUS subframe. Most people actually change to the non-HICUS one when they do the proper conversion in their GTRs. But anyways, I digress, not digest. What is wrong with me? The shelf is so packed. Wait, what is the date today? It's like payday in 3 days for everyone. That makes sense. Everything's out for people to spend money. We've got a set of Tomei twins for a GTR for an RV26. That's kind of cool. JZX 100 turbo. Got a 2-way LSD for an 8.6 BRZ. That's cool. It's TRD one as well. Turbo for an S13. Yo, CP9A diff? Huh. Interesting. We got a turbo here for a Mini. Another JZX 100 turbo. There's a Tomei one. That's kind of cool. Feels solid. Man, there's a lot here. Jeez. Up Garage has been selling recently the JZX 100 downpipes, or the test pipe. So this replaces the off the back of the turbo down to the rest of the exhaust, and these are actually pretty decent. I just picked one up actually for my car, my Missile. because mine got all twisted and mangled up, and I sent it up to Fusto. The 110s and the 100s are all here. Actually, are the 110s and 100s the same? They kind of look the same. Maybe there's a slight difference, I don't know. But, man, yeah, the shelves are packed right now, hey. Wait, this looks like a, whoa. Yo. Tomei 1JZ Turbo Elbow. Hang on, I might actually buy this for my missile. Because this, like, I just have the stock one on my missile. I wonder if this gives you extra flow though, if it's worth it. I'm gonna ask Fusto real quick, but that's not a bad price for one of these. They are pretty hard to come by. It's about 200 bucks, well, $230 US. Like GTR turbo elbows. Oh, I know where they got this from. I sold this to them. That mini R50 mount, engine mount. Oh, I got rid of some of the parts I had left over from that mini. Coilovers. Dude, there's so much stuff here. Man, they are ready for payday. It's kind of cheeky, right? These tactics. Just tempt everyone with as much stuff as possible, hoping they'll spend money. Even the ECUs are like all full. Look at this. JZX 100, stock lower arms with stock knuckles. Dude, that's so good. Like, I could literally buy these, drop them off to Bruce, have them extended, and also have the knuckles modified for an angle kit, for the reverse angle kit. That's actually really good. A lot of stuff here that you could use to like make your car pass shotgun for sure. This is kind of funny. A JZX 100 front pulley. These break all the time. This is pretty rusty. I guess it sat outside for a while, but you could clean it up with some rust converter and stuff and still use it if you needed it and desperate. They fall off at the worst time, always. JZX 100 front knuckles. Dude, there's a lot here. Hubs too, R34 hubs, GTR hubs. Dang. S13 hubs. Obviously they always stock a bunch of the aftermarket arms too, which is good. This is cool. Yeah, these are upper arms for a JZX 100 as well. Not something you really need if you have like the right angle kit, but I know some people love that stance life and that's when they need those. Just be careful, those ball joints do pop out all the time in these ones if you hit the top and if you're too bottomed out. Oh, this is cool. CRX, EF8, EF9, like solid polyurethane engine mounts. Oh my gosh. It's cool to see some Honda stuff here though. I heard a car roll in. Wasn't expecting to see this here. That's cool. Wonder if there's anything else hiding in the shed up here. Whoa. Okay, no, I definitely wasn't that. It's this thing. Oh my gosh. Nothing undercover, but I do like this Evangelion themed bike that I just noticed. That's cool. Love that. We're now back at the shop and I'm not gonna lie. The abandoned S15 has me feeling a little bit defeated because it feels like we've really done nothing today. But when I stop and think about it, we had to spend time to assess the damage and assess everything on the car to work out where our next move is or what we're gonna do next in the direction of the car. And I think you're all gonna probably agree with me, but I think it's gonna make a lot more sense if we switch out the whole front end, just with everything that I've found there and whatnot, and it's probably just a better move. The rear still seems really, really good, but we won't know for sure until we get that subframe out, which I'm planning to do tomorrow. As for finding parts for this thing, I spoke to Okachan. He's got a lot of stuff that we already need, and I'm gonna start talking to companies like GK Tech and see if we can get a whole set of their rear arms as well as their reinforcement kit for the new subframe, so that we can get that whole rear end situated and sorted out. But once we do get the subframe out, I'm gonna be wire wheeling every single bit of rust we find and then putting the rust converter on it, and then we're gonna do the body undercoat. I actually already bought some of the stuff straight from Nissan, so we're ready to do that. But yeah, if we can get that rear end all sorted out, where all that has to be done is the front end, then that'll make life a lot easier. But abandoned S15 aside, and the mess that it keeps creating all around the shop, the more and more I work on it, it's literally just like all the surface rust and dirt and stuff falling off it. We do have a pretty big update for the HQ, which I'm really excited about, but we have a full air conditioning system going into the workshop, which means not only cooling, but heating. And it is starting to get very cold right now. So I have been using the kerosene jet heater, but I'm excited because we will no longer need that. And we're gonna have 3 cassettes bam, bam, bam in the middle here, and they are 4-way directional air ones as well, so it's going to be very well evenly distributed. And we picked this whole unit up for such a good deal. The recycling company that removed this out of an abandoned, like closed down hotel that was only open for like a year. So this is only like a 6-month to a year old unit. It's a 2021 Hitachi unit. It's 10 horsepower, 30 kilowatts. So it's more than enough for handling this workshop, which is perfect. And the best thing is we got the thing for like 1,500 USD, and we found an installer and everything that's going to get everything done for less than 5 grand USD, which is actually a really good price. Story for another time, maybe on the SAMMIT Raw channel, but the first guy that came out and quoted us was 30 grand just for an installation, not including the aircon. It cost us less than 5 grand, including this aircon, for an install and everything. And the second and the third and the fourth guys that came out also all quoted something ridiculous like 20, 15 grand. It was so stupid. But anyways, in the end, we found the right people and the guys that actually wanted to do the job and charge a fair price. But that aside, I'm excited for warm winters and cold summers in the workshop, and it's just gonna make our life and productivity so much better. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it wasn't as much wrenching as I had hoped, and trust me, I wish we had done more. In my head, I thought we're gonna have the subframe out and already like start rust repair, but sometimes you just gotta sit back and you gotta assess the situation and go over everything. And I think it's fair that we also take you guys through that so you guys understand where we're at with the car. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Sorry for all the talking. I love you. Drop Friday, 4 p.m. EST. Don't sleep. I'm gonna be throwing in the 3 of the pistons from the SR that we pulled apart, and they're just gonna go to random people. So do not sleep. Friday, 4 p.m. EST. Okay, this time I promise. Thanks for watching. Peace. Jamata.